Tonight, I crash into a wall, I paint a bonnet, and I listen to Jeremy Clarkson.
The era of the hypercar.
Welcome back to the Xbox Hut, the place where a Nintendo fan happily discusses your favorite Xbox One games. Let's talk about Forza Motorsport 5. I played this game with the steering wheel, the pornographically named Thrustmaster TX Racing Wheel Ferrari 458 Italia Edition. So on to the review. What we must now find out is if Forza Motorsport 5 is the best racing sim in the world. Forza Motorsport 5 is the first racing sim to grace the current generation of home consoles. Turn 10 Studios has been crafting the Forza series for quite a while, but does that mean justice has been done for the latest edition? The key point of a racing simulator is how accurately the vehicles handle, despite the fact that 99% of its players have absolutely no clue how a McLaren P1 actually handles. Nonetheless, the physics are spot on and predictable, and follow the amazingly accurate cues of the various physics of different drivetrains. Not only that, the vehicle weight balance and engine configuration play to bringing the car to its very limit, and if you're playing with the steering wheel, it is an absolute delight. The glorious feel of driving a supercar is just as exciting as you imagined. If pushing cars is your thing, then you'll also be happy to know there are a good number of upgrade options. However, some of them are so minute that they simply dumb down into just picking and clicking the A button. And then there's Drivatars. The Drivatars effectively give you a semi-close experience to an online race, and yet too much so. The chances a gamer racing is actually a race car driver with the ethics and the skills is essentially next to null, and thus Drivatars will ram into you, spread out across turns, and even try to cut the turns. Drivatars are adapted to human behaviors, and the issue is that it accomplishes the goal to so much effectiveness that racing can often turn into a destruction derby. For more serious sim racers, this is absolutely destructive to the experience as well. Forza Motorsport 5 has received free cars and additional tracks since its release. The first thing to note is that there are enough cars and enough tracks for just about any casual racing game fan. You won't get your money's worth. However, there's no denying that for those looking for a deep racing sim to keep them busy for hundreds of hours, there are just not enough tracks. The good news is that the tracks that are there are fantastic, not to mention that this game contains the most accurately recreated version of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. If there's one track you want to spend your time on, it's that one. The car selection itself is solid, and while it lacks the variety of some of its predecessors in competition, it has the one car everyone wanted, the Honda Civic CRX Mugen. In terms of modes, there is a lack of more specific disciplines, namely rally racing. The drifting is also severely limited to particular challenges. The good news is that you'll want to master the pavement because you might just find yourself addicted to challenging rivals to climb up the leaderboards. The game runs at full 1080p and at a solid 60 frames per second during racing. The Forza Vista reduces to 30 frames per second to give you the most detailed walk around of a vehicle you've ever seen rendered in real time. In addition, you have my personal favorites providing an intro to every career discipline, the host of Top Gear UK. Not only that, the game presents you with a little more Top Gear flavor than you'd expect. Have you ever tried to drive around the Top Gear test track while knocking over as many bowling pins as possible? I didn't think so. Not to mention racing against the Stig. And then there's the music, taking its cue from Top Gear as well, presenting epic music directly to your eardrums. Unfortunately, it's a little too epic when you keep hearing it over and over again, hour after hour. Forza Motorsport 5 handles like the best racing simulator you'll ever experience, leaving any traces of arcade racing to those that wish to turn on all of the assists. Additionally, it contains tracks worthy of its handling physics, and the most amazing Nürburgring Nordschleife experience any racing sim fan can find. It then presents this to you in glorious imagery in full 1080p at a solid 60 frames per second. It is thus with a heavy heart that I recognize its imperfections everywhere else. Despite that, it is by far the most fun I've ever had with a simulation racing game. I give Forza Motorsport 5 an 8 out of 10. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Xbox Hut. Have a good night!